74 of my carnivore life, and thank you for being here. I wanted to address a question of my yesterday's video from Lila. So hi. She asked me if I'm not doing the lion diet anymore, and if so, why. So I wanted to address that a little bit. I'm going to show you a video, and then we can talk about it. So that's basically Michaela Patterson, and she invented the lion diet, so-called, and it's just a marketing gag. It's nothing else. And in most of the videos and interviews she's always saying something else about it. And not even the creator herself does know what the lion diet now contains, because in some videos she said, it's just beef, salt and water. In some videos she said she invented this name because she did eat beef, salt, water and lamb. That's why she needed, to have a name for it, because there was no name out for it. So, and in some videos she said, it's all kind of meat. So all kind of meat does contain for all people, also pork, chicken and these kind of things. So what is the lion diet? If the creator herself doesn't know what the lion diet is, we don't have to talk about it, right? Another thing I can just show you, it's this video. So let's just shortly talk about it. Dr. Chaffy, when I saw his videos on his channel, he's always posting that his shopping list, and he always has just steaks and eggs. Only steaks, basically most of the time it's ribeyes and these kind of things, and that's basically it. So when you go on his girlfriend's side, and that was this video about, she's cooking a variation of carnivore, also with a lot of cheese and these kind of things, like kiri, she used it. I don't know how it's in America, but here in my country it's still a high processed thing to eat. So it does have ingredients which are less stupid than a lot of other things actually. But the list is very short in my country, in Europe. So maybe, I don't know how it's in America, but it's still high processed food, and it's still, cheese and these kind of things. So he does have also a variation in his diet with all these kind of things. So he's also not just strict having meat, salt and water. So I just wanted to show you this. Why? Because a lot of people just focus on the labeling of all these kind of our journeys. Am I now animal-based? Am I now carnivore? Am I ketovore? Am I keto? Am I this? Am I that? And I just can tell you, these things are just rebranded by people who wanted to be influencers. That's it. And also Sean Baker just gave it another name, and it was already there. And the carnivore diet, this new name, these are all just rebranding things, which have been there since ever, but just called them stupid names, and we want some cooler names. So don't focus on what is cool, what is not cool. Focus on what you can eat and what is fitting you, your lifestyle, and what's working for you. So for me, I had two approaches. So why? First, I got now, it was I think a week ago, we have to look back in my videos, I got a personal message from Dr. Chaffy explaining what I should do, how I should eat actually, and what I should take and everything, based on my MS and the very bad situation with my doctors and the medication I should take, which will cause breast cancer and tumors and these kind of things. That's what I want to avoid. So he said, you have to be strict, not you have to. That's not what he uses, so I'm thankful for that. He just say, if you can, go strict in just beef, salt, water, take the B12 and the vitamin D and these kind of things, and and fat trims, and have high fat approaches. That will work, and in 6 months basically I will have better results, and maybe can got away with not taking the medications in the first place. So that's what the goal looks like, which I wanted to achieve. So that's one thing, that's the one picture that I want to achieve that. On the other side, you have to imagine this. Before I started Carnivore 74 days ago, I was vegan. I did eat most of the time vegan, not because I was convinced vegan, it was because of the taste. I didn't like meat at all. So that's our baseline. I had a meat aversion. So that's why I went vegan in the first place, because I liked vegetables, I liked nuts, I liked these kind of things. So that's first things first. Most of the time it was a little bit of more vegan. It was like 95% vegan, 5% vegetarian, and still sometimes, very rarely, maybe a burger or something like that. So ground beef, that was okay, or maybe some salami here and there, that was also okay. But actually the rest, I just hated it. So we come from a vegan mentality just because of the taste. So that's first. The second thing is, I was highly, and still am, an addicted person. I did a video a few days ago where I talked about my addiction and how it looks like. So you really need to understand, if you can go from 0 to 100, that's most likely that you haven't been that high of addicted to a substance, because you need some time and a recovery place to have that. So some people who manage to have this from 0 to 100 situation, just to eat beef, salt and water for the rest of their life, most of them, which I saw now in a lot of comments, not only on my channel, on other channels, also with a lot of influencers, they do it because their surrounding is very easy to do that, because they are having, you know, working from home, or they, you know, are just having home office most of the time, or having jobs that are required to be all the time, maybe in the nature or with animals. They do have animal farms and these kind of things, or they don't have kids, and you know, you don't have the constant thing that is surrounding you with all the things that you're addicted to. So if you're like me, I work in an IT company, an international one. So I'm traveling. I'm all the time on the road, not all the time, but most of the time I'm, you know, traveling by car, going to customers, having dinners with them. So I spend a lot of time with a lot of people, and we are talking about 100 to 300 people for me in a month that I'm seeing, going to, looking up, working with, and these kind of things. So that's what people do need to understand, that my situation is completely different than yours or yours or yours. So every situation is very to look with different eyes, and for some it's more easier to go and you know, to adjust to this kind of lifestyle. For me personally, my surrounding and social environment is one of the toughest, because I come from completely vegan friends who are highly afraid of meat, highly afraid, and we're talking really afraid. They almost started like crying when I told them just eat a steak, and it was like, oh my god, I cannot do that, maybe then I will have high cholesterol and these kind of things. So I'm talking about this kind of extreme. So having a Vita version, not having a social environment where it's easy for me to got out of this addicted situation, be constantly, you know, provided with these kind of foods in situation where I cannot just go and buy something and cannot just go and prepare it myself. If you have the luxury, great. I don't have that. I have to sit there sometimes, like in Vienna, for 15 hours and talk and talk and talk with these people and the complex things, and write it down, and you know, combine all this stuff. And we don't have time to manage our food, and then I just go back at a hotel and I'm dying, and the next day we do the same thing over. So what should I do? I'm not the person that fasts. Fasting is not going well with me, and this, people really need to understand this. Fasting is a thing that works for some people, for some it doesn't. It triggers their addiction, and at some point these also things can change. Important, it can change. It can be that you are eating 10 times a day like I did in the first days, and now you just need, you know, maybe 6 or 5 hours of eating, and now you're feeling great. Some days you can't manage it. When I work, I cannot manage to not eat, because I have a highly brain functioned work, which requires a lot of energy. And you know, you cannot just not eat and fast if you are in this position and starting like I did. And I ate, you know, constantly. Every 5 minutes I was eating before I started carnivore. So you really need to not feel entitled. Some people started to feel entitled to my story, to my journey. So no, no, I'm not doing this channel. That's why I said I'm gonna do a YouTube video about YouTube and the background about it. I don't care if haters gonna comment and just push my algorithm, and you know, I then am a super influencer. I don't give a shit. I rather have a very cool community which shares their own experiences and their own journeys than people just being condescending, you know, being just dicks about it and telling me what to do. No, I don't care. And that's why I'm blocking these people. So, you know, don't feel entitled to other people's stories, especially on YouTube. And that's what's the most important thing for me. When I started this carnivore, my whole baseline was very, very heavy, and I was, you know, having a lot of coffee as well. I am addicted to chewing gums. I have a lot of things to work on, and it's not just, oh, it's so easy, just do beef, salt and water, what's your problem? Jeez. I got these kind of comments. Fuck off. Honestly, fuck off. I don't give a shit, because that's not how it works. That's not how it works. Because if you need to fix so many other things in your life, maybe to get to the point where you can do these things. So for me, what is important? I need to focus step by step to get to this advice Dr. Chaffy gave me. And when I started the Lion Diet and a few days ago, again, because I did it already, it was triggering my addiction so hard. And the days before, I had the Lion Diet, but I did have some tweaks. I did add some goat cheese, just a little bit, a light goat cheese, a handful. It was enough not to trigger my cravings. I did have still my green tea, which did not trigger me being sleepy and these kind of things. So I did have the chewing gums in stressful situation, which are no, you know, just being addicted to it and, you know, just having chewing gums all the time as soon as I'm stressed, or if I think and if I'm craving something. So a lot of different things I had still in my life. And in this whole journey, especially in the beginning, it was completely different. We are talking from, oh my God, the worst case scenario you can have with being that sick, having hardcore medications, working on your health, having a meat aversion, being vegan before because of the taste. So having people surrounding you which are forcing you to be vegan, from, you know, you are a bad person because you are not vegan and you eat now meat. So fighting all these social aspects as well. Having a child, I'm a single parent. I cannot just put my son from also a carbs diet or American diet, how you say it, to now we're not eating anything of that anymore. You know, why should I do that to my kid? It's my journey, it's not his journey, but I need to also have an impact on his health and get him to eat easier so he will enjoy this and not just hate it. So I'm figuring a lot of things out, people, a lot of things. I'm just, you know, doing this with the whole balls. And that's why I really, that's where you need to understand why I'm blocking all these people, and I don't give a damn if they're pushing this algorithm in a bad way, because I also don't think that my community, which are amazing people since day one supporting me, I should put them in a position to defend my honor, you know, because they know me. So for example, one guy wrote down, geez, just get a job. I'm a damn fucking IT manager in a consulting company. So why should I argue with this idiot? I don't want to spend my time to argue with idiots. I just block it. It's done. So the one thing is, YouTube will maybe at some point punish me for, you know, blocking that much people for this idiotic thing, and will maybe slow down the videos, or even will block or shadow block me or my channel at all. It can also happen. So if I'm not showing up every day like I do now for 74 days, maybe YouTube blocked me. So keep that in mind, because I'm strict with that as much as I can, and I didn't miss a day now, 74 days. So for me, it's important what my journey looks like is not going just, I'm doing the Lion Diet and that's what I'm doing, because not even a mentor knows what the fucking Lion Diet is. So I don't give a shit. I do give a shit what Dr. Chaffy told me and what I have to focus on. So that's my goal. But how I get there, it takes so much more time. I cannot go now just immediately from here to there, because it triggered my addiction when I was in Vienna so hardcore. And I don't want that. I'm going backwards, because I was focusing on just going immediately there to be Lion Diet, going immediately there to do the protocol from Dr. Chaffy. And it triggered my bad behavior, which I actually got rid of before with my little tweaks. So why should I do that? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go back with tweaks and figure it out what works for me until I get there naturally. Because what happened in these days, in the first month, I did have a lot of things. I did have a lot of protein powder with yogurt. That was my go-to meal as you know, a sweet dish. And I did have a lot of apples, bananas, and berries sometimes, not all the time, but very often and during this first month. And I also did have, you know, 2-3 days, something about that, where I completely escalated and I was just craving everything and I bought everything. So starting with month 2, there was so much histamine problems then, and carnivore was getting really shitty for me because I was allergic to basically every fucking meat. And don't tell me what meat had histamine. I know that now, all of these things, and I know now the brands, and it's not that easy told, you know, it's not just don't do aged meat, don't do this meat, don't eat processed meat, these kind of things. No, it's not. For me, it's also brands. There are some brands that work, and the same damn fucking meat doesn't work for another brand. So whatever it is, or the stuff, how I prepared it, it took me 74 days to figure this shit out. And I still have moments where some meat doesn't work for me and I go some steps back and I feel awful. I cannot breathe. My skin is horrible and these kind of things. I have gut problems. So even going full lion is not easy for me because I sometimes do then show histamine intolerance symptoms when I don't eat just my special brands. So it's really tough. So that was the second half of the second month, you know. And then I had the histamine troubles and it was just going awful. I wanted to go to the hospital because I couldn't breathe. So it was really bad. And then it started to get and feel a little bit more natural because my body just, you know, stopped craving a little bit less and less and less all the things. And I quit coffee. I quit milk. I was used to milk and these kind of things. So I didn't drink milk then for weeks now, or coffee for weeks now. For almost 1 week now, I did also quit the matcha tea. So I'm without caffeine at all. So, you know, that's what this is about. Baby steps to get there, and not from 0 to 100 and then just fail because it's too much. I did now for 2 or even 3 days stopped with my chewing gum because I did have some mint oil 100%. I just have a little drop that helps me also with my cravings, by the way, and also with the feeling that in social anxieties with, you know, do you stink from the mouth, or these kind of things. And no, not for everybody. Just carnivore makes you smell like rainbows and sunshine. No, it's not. It is getting better. So what are the side effects of carnivore? You do not smell more, you know, you smell less. Yes, your teeth and these kind of things are getting easier to clean and you feel more clean. Yes, absolutely. You have less gut problems if you're not histamine intolerant. Yes, you do have more energy some days, especially when you're a woman with highly PMSing hormone not balanced level yet. It's not gonna happen in the next few months. You need time to heal all your things and all your diseases you're having. It may take months, it may take years. For some people, it takes maybe even hours. Everybody is different. So, you know, just when you have these kind of experience, amazing, share it, but don't feel entitled to tell other people what to do and just because it worked for you, you know. So that's what for me is the most important thing to talk about, because I really am sick of these kind of behavior from people. So that's why I really needed to address that. So my goal is now to keep that level for a little period of time, not to go lion diet, to stay carnivore, to try not to have these peaks where I, especially now in the summer, need fruits and these kind of things, or yogurt or dairy at all, because I also quit the whipped cream. It was maybe now almost a month. I didn't have any whipped cream, and I did have cake of whipped cream all the time. Now I don't have that. I did have cheese to basically every meal. I don't have that anymore. The goat cheese thing is completely different than normal process, this kind of Gouda and these kind of things. It works different for me. It helps me on my journey. For me, it helps. Some people are allergic to goat cheese, and my most important part is not to now lose weight. It's not to, oh my God, I'm healing now, and oh my God, my MS is gone. No, it's also not, I have to focus on Dr. Chaffy's advice, because if not, I'm gonna die. I don't also care about that. I care about implementing slowly the steps, so it will get me to the point where it comes naturally to me, because I saw it during my journey that if I gave my body what I want and I'm not forcing myself, then it's going very well. As soon as people try to force me, I'm fucked. I don't want to do this anymore. And then I'm just gonna cancel everything, because as soon as I realize that people are forcing things on me and it's not my personal development and journey anymore, and I feel pressured to be this picture perfect and maybe even have to hide the things that I may be eating just to make a good impression, I'm not gonna do that. That's not who I am. So this is so important for me. And I do have sometimes my protein bars, because I'm craving them and I need them. And if I need them, I'm gonna eat it, you know? And I blocked everybody who's then telling me, but you're not supposed to do that. Who are you? Who are you to tell me what I should do and not should do? I know what I should do. I know what I have to, and I do know where I have to go to make my journey picture perfect. But I'm not there yet. It's that simple. I'm not there yet. And I'm going there yet. I'm going there. And maybe take me 1 year. So maybe you're gonna be 365, be part of this evolutional moment where I say, you know what, guys? I made it. I eat now 1 time a day. I do fast 7 days in a week because my body just don't need anything. I only eat salt water, that's it. It's nothing I need. It's just beef, salt, water, and my life is perfect, and I don't have any symptoms, and everything is picture perfect, and that's how I want to spend the rest of my life, and I feel amazing, and I do have a six-pack. Who knows? We're gonna see in 365 days. You know what I mean? So, but maybe also in 365 days, I'm gonna tell you, I'm still not there yet. I'm still not there yet, and I still sometimes occasionally do buy a protein bar because I feel it, and I want it, and I need it. I just need it for my addiction, and I'm giving it to my addiction. I shouldn't do that. Of course I shouldn't, but I want to. That's how easy it is, you know? So I hope you understand where I'm coming from, and I know it sounds a little bit more of this arrogant side, but it's not how I mean it. It's just for me also being grateful for YouTube pushing some videos suddenly, you know, and then some videos showed up from, you know, my community, my lovely people, which are just sharing their own journeys every day, being part of mine, and just being, you know, cool people, and we just exchange our own experiences and not force each other to something. And I don't, you know, you don't have to do this. Why did you eat your cake? Are you crazy? You have to be more focused. Just feel motivated. That doesn't work for me. You know what I mean? It just doesn't. I just say, you know, try as much as possible. Try as much as possible to get rid of your bad behaviors you have and you want to get rid of, whatever it is. Just try every day, and that's the most you can do. And if you fail, you fail. Try next hour, you know, again, don't think in days, think in hours. And if you failed 1 hour and just give into your cravings and just eat I don't know, the whole damn cake, then just try the next hour, you know, to go back on track. Just go back on track on the things you want to achieve and do, and say, you know what, I enjoyed this 1 hour. I enjoyed this amazing cake. That's how life is, and it's okay. And now I'm going back on track, and that's, I think, the most important part. And that's also, you know, what I love about this community, because we are open, we are sharing things, and that's why I say I'm blocking condescendence and these kind of things, because I don't care also for the people in my community suffer with this kind of, you know, attitude, also not from vegans, but also not from carnivore people being condescending about their own journeys. So that's what I think it's the most important part to know about this channel. And if you still want to be part of it, I'm happy to have you, and I want to love to hear from you what your journeys are and what your experiences are and these kind of things, and just share your own experience. Don't judge mine. Just be a part of our community with your own story. And you know, I hope the most, what I hope is also people interacting with each other, because a lot of you guys have similar stories or families or tragedies and these kind of things, and I would love for you also to find other people in the community in the comments and to comment on their comments, just because you maybe will find some friends and just connect maybe somewhere else, so you don't have to do it on my YouTube channel. You can also, you know, connect on maybe some other social platforms when these kind of things, just, or exchange email addresses or whatever it is. So, you know, I think that to have a community where people are really not judging you and just be, you know, nice and kind, and that's what my channel is about. That's what people will be in my channel, nice and kind, you know. So I hope you understand where I'm coming from, and I'm now going to pack the rest for my camping. And thanks for listening to my 25 minutes of bullshitting. But it really needed to say that. So I'm happy to have you, and I'm gonna show you tomorrow the beautiful camping environment, and we're gonna have a little bit more fun. So today serious topic, tomorrow fun, okay? So see you tomorrow.